I already gave him his warning. Fight like your life depends on it, because it does.
Pisses me off. And then
Jake Paul just got attacked by Mike Tyson, and believe me, Tyson's final warning to this problem kid might just take his breath away. And it happened because of Jake's recent dirty cheating secret being exposed, and trust me, it's the biggest cheating strategy of the 21st century. I know it's a huge claim, but in boxing, I've never seen a trash talker and backup planner quite like Jake. But this time, he stepped on Tyson's toes. And this man is still the king of the ring for a reason. Jake's never pulling a stunt like this again, thanks to our hero, the legendary Tyson. Honestly, Jake Paul brought this mess upon himself. I mean, seriously, Jake Paul cancels the fight out of the blue? The guy practically begged Tyson for the fight, seeing it as his golden ticket to boxing immortality. For Jake, fighting Tyson wasn't just about the sport, it was about milking Tyson's legendary status to boost his own profile. The idea of going toe-to-toe with one of the greatest boxers of all time was just too tempting for Jake to pass up. He was determined to make it happen, come hell or high water.
The baddest man on the planet, Iron Mike Tyson, making his return to boxing this summer, and he's facing former YouTube star Jake Paul in Texas. Now, the whole thing is going to be streamed exclusively on Netflix. The fight is Tyson's second boxing match since 2005. He will be 58 years old.
But then, boom, the much-hyped showdown hit a major roadblock when Tyson had to postpone the fight because of health issues. Talk about a curveball. This unexpected twist left fans and the media buzzing with questions. Tyson's health, always a hot topic given his age and battle-worn body, suddenly became the main focus. Everyone thought this was just a temporary bump in the road, and that the fight would go on once Tyson was back in shape. And then just like that, Jake Paul pulled the plug on the whole thing. The abruptness of his decision sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Speculation ran rampant. Why would Jake, who had been so gung-ho about the fight, suddenly chicken out? Theories flew around faster than punches in the ring. Was he worried about Tyson's health and recovery time? Or maybe, just maybe, he got cold feet at the thought of facing a legend with Tyson's ferocious reputation.
Feel like you'll be able to take Mike Tyson's power at this stage?
I know I will be able to. I'm a natural born heavyweight. And I'm going to show Mike who has the more power, because he's underestimating me. I think everyone else is underestimating me, and I believe that I hit harder. I know it's going to be tough. I know I'm going to have to fight through adversity. I know I might even go to the canvas. I'm scared, don't get me wrong, but it's not about the fear stopping me. It's about going into it even though I am scared, and that's what true bravery.
Some insiders whispered that Jake's team was freaked out by Tyson's unpredictability and raw power, even at his age. Despite the health setbacks, Tyson's fierce competitiveness hadn't dulled one bit. The tension and uncertainty around the match were almost tangible, and Jake's sudden cancellation just added more fuel to the fire. And the boxing world was absolutely gobsmacked when some juicy inside info dropped about Jake Paul's alleged attempts to rig his big match with Mike Tyson. Seriously, you can't make this stuff up. Word on the street is that Jake's team was trying to pull some shady moves behind the scenes to swing the fight in their favor. Insiders from Jake's own camp spilled the tea, saying that Jake had approached the referee with a fat stack of cash to ensure he'd walk away with a win against Tyson. Now the referee, whose name remains hush-hush because of some confidentiality mumbo-jumbo, apparently told Jake to take a hike. Why, you ask? Well, because Tyson's reputation for being an absolute beast in the ring scared the living daylights out of him. Imagine trying to fix a fight with someone who can knock you into next week with one punch. The referee, knowing the danger and the massive ethical no-no, decided to keep things legit and turned down Jake's offer. This bombshell had Jake's reputation nosediving faster than a failed YouTube stunt. People already had mixed feelings about Jake's foray into boxing, seeing it more as a sideshow than a serious athletic pursuit. These latest allegations just poured gasoline on that fire. Boxing veterans and analysts were shaking their heads, expressing their disappointment. Big names like Teddy Atlas and Max Kellerman didn't hold back, calling out the need for stricter rules and transparency in the sport.
One of the greatest punchers in the history of the sport. Even at 55, he looked okay with Roy Jones, blah, blah, blah. You know, he hits this guy, he's going to knock him out.
In a classic Jake Paul move, he decided to switch gears and challenge Mike Perry instead of Tyson. This was seen as a desperate attempt to save face. Let's be real, Mike Perry is no Mike Tyson. Perry's more known for his MMA skills than boxing, and while he's tough, he doesn't bring the same level of threat in a boxing ring as Tyson. It was like Jake was looking for an easier target to get a win and stay relevant. This decision to fight Perry instead of Tyson sparked a ton of debate. Some people thought it was a smart way to avoid getting demolished by Tyson. Others, however, saw it as Jake dodging a real challenge, confirming that he was more about keeping his undefeated record intact than actually testing his skills in the ring. These revelations have dealt a heavy blow to Jake's credibility. The whole fight-fixing scandal, coupled with his pivot to a less intimidating opponent, has made the boxing community, known for its die-hard adherence to tradition and honor, pretty unforgiving. Promoters, trainers, and other fighters voiced their concerns about the negative precedent this sets and the potential trust issues it raises within the sport. The move to fight Perry also raised eyebrows about the ethics of Jake's management team. It became glaringly obvious that they were willing to bend the rules and principles of the sport to get favorable outcomes. This led to louder calls for stricter regulations and more rigorous enforcement of ethical standards in boxing.
As everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face, but I like getting punched in my face, so my plan is coming together quite nice.
This sudden shift in Jake Paul's focus from fighting Mike Tyson to challenging Mike Perry caught everyone off guard. On June 15, 2024, Jake decided to switch gears, and let me tell you, this move was more than just a change of heart. It was a strategic maneuver with some pretty deep implications. To get the full picture, we need to break down the differences between Tyson and Perry and look at the sneaky behind-the-scenes antics that led to this change. Now, enter Mike Perry. This guy's mostly known for his mixed martial arts career. He's only recently dipped his toes into boxing, and while he's no slouch, he's nowhere near Tyson's level. Perry's MMA background means his style and skills don't quite translate seamlessly to boxing. He's aggressive, sure, but he doesn't have Tyson's refined technique or bone-crushing power.
MMA fighters just running around punching each other bare knuckle like hooligans. I'll show you a real sport.
That's just me. I'm the only one. The rest are scared to come do it. And it's funny that you call this fight Fear No Man because you will be terrified on July 20th.
Jake Paul saw the writing on the wall. Fighting Tyson was a high-risk move with a big chance of getting his face rearranged. Tyson's experience and explosive power made the fight downright terrifying. On the flip side, facing Perry was a walk in the park by comparison. Perry's lack of boxing experience and less threatening style made him an easier target for Jake to notch another win. But hold up, it wasn't just about dodging a tough fight. Insiders spilled the beans that Jake's camp had some pretty shady plans in motion. They were plotting to bribe the referee in the Perry fight to make sure Jake had the upper hand. ESPN broke this scandal on June 20th, 2024, and it's been a dumpster fire for Jake's reputation ever since. This pattern of manipulation isn't new for Jake. First, there were whispers of fixing the Tyson fight, and now this bribery scheme with Perry. It's clear Jake's more interested in stacking the deck than playing fair. This approach has drawn fire from all corners of the boxing world. Legends like Lennox Lewis and top trainers like Freddie Roach have blasted Jake's tactics, saying they tarnish the sport's integrity and disrespect real athletes who bust their butts in the ring. After the whole mess with trying to rig his fight with Mike Tyson, experts started digging into Jake's entire boxing career, and let's just say, it ain't pretty. Investigations have revealed some seriously shady stuff like using steroids and bribing referees. Yeah, Jake's so-called victories are looking more and more like a bad reality TV script.
I believe that you're a cheater, and I believe that you use steroids.
First up, the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, decided to take a closer look at our boy Jake. And surprise, surprise, on June 25, 2024, they dropped a bombshell report showing that Jake had tested positive for anabolic steroids multiple times. This goes all the way back to his fight against Nate Robinson in 2020. Remember that dramatic knockout? Turns out, Jake was juiced up like a Thanksgiving turkey. Former trainers even spilled the beans on how Jake's team had this whole elaborate system to dodge drug tests using different steroids and masking agents. It's like they were running a science experiment instead of a boxing camp. And if you think that's bad, wait till you hear about the bribery. Investigative journalist John Barr from ESPN came out with a killer expose on July 3, 2024, detailing how Jake's team allegedly paid off referees. Take his fight against Ben Askren, for example. Multiple sources, including former officials, claim Jake's crew offered the referee $50,000 to go easy on Jake and stop the fight at the first hint of Askren being in trouble. And wouldn't you know it, the ref did just that, stopping the fight way too early and giving Jake a technical knockout. Coincidence? I think not. And let's not forget the testimonies from Jake's opponents themselves. Tyron Woodley came out swinging in a press conference, accusing Jake of trying to bribe him to take a dive in their rematch. He turned down the offer, but he wasn't shy about his suspicions regarding the officiating. Ben Askren, in an exclusive with Sports Illustrated, recounted a similar story. Jake's team allegedly offered him $500,000 to throw their fight. Although Askren admitted he was out of shape and not exactly in fighting form, he was disgusted by the blatant attempt to fix the fight. And Jake? Oh, he's denying everything, of course. In a statement on June 27, 2024, he claimed it's all a smear campaign by his haters. He insists his wins are legit and challenges his accusers to bring hard evidence. But with all the mounting testimonies and investigations, it's getting harder and harder for anyone to buy his innocence. And don't think Mike Tyson was just going to let Jake Paul off the hook after all this nonsense. Oh no, Tyson came out swinging with a whopping $350 million lawsuit against Paul. Yep, you heard that right. This legal smackdown highlights Tyson's resolve to seek justice and hold Paul accountable for his shady antics. Filed in the United States District Court for the Central District of California, this lawsuit throws a whole laundry list of accusations at Jake, and it's serious business.
I really like Jake a lot, but once he's in that ring, he has to fight like his life is dependent on it, because it will be.
I truly believe that there's a lot of people who, see me as an arrogant ass, which I can be sometimes, but I'm just having fun and entertaining the world. And I do think that the older generation wants people to see Mike knock me out, but at the end of the day, I also have the kids, the middle schoolers, the high schoolers, the college students rooting for me and want to see me and Mike.
First off, Tyson's hitting Jake with defamation, breach of contract, and fraud charges. Tyson's legal team, led by the fierce attorney Gloria Allred, put together a case so tight it's like a chokehold. They're saying Jake's public statements about Tyson's health issues messing with the fight schedule were complete baloney and seriously damaged Tyson's rep and wallet. According to the lawsuit, Jake's comments were nothing but a calculated move to discredit Tyson and paint himself as the victim. The defamation claim is a big chunk of that $350 million Tyson's gunning for. They're arguing that Jake's trash talk wasn't just trash. It was a strategic smear campaign designed to make Tyson look bad and make Jake look like the poor wronged party. Tyson's legal eagles are saying these lies cost Tyson big time in terms of reputation and financial losses. Now onto the breach of contract. Tyson's team says Jake violated a bunch of key terms from their fight agreement signed back on March 15, 2024. Jake pulling out of the fight on June 10, 2024 was a straight-up contract killer. This move torpedoed sponsorship deals, ticket sales, and broadcasting rights, leading to tens of millions in lost revenue for Tyson. So yeah, not a small oopsie. Got thoughts on this wild saga? Share your insights in the comments.